There's a ton of noise out there. So how do you get decision makers to pay attention to your brand? Start a podcast and invite your ideal clients to be guests on your show. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm James Carberry.
And I'm Jonathan Green.
Let's get into the show. Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Logan Young. He is the VP of Strategy at BlitzMetrics. Logan, how you doing today, man?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a good Monday morning.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on the show, Logan. I've been seeing you around LinkedIn and in a Facebook group that we're both a part of, and really excited to chat with you today. We're going to be talking about the power of workplace targeting on Facebook, as well as a couple other ideas. But before we do that, Logan, I want listeners to understand why you're the guy to be talking to us about Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about BlitzMetrics and what you and your team are up to over there?
Definitely. So BlitzMetrics, we're a digital marketing agency. We do Facebook ads. We're known for having a few bigger clients like the Golden State Warriors, who won the NBA championship last year. And we worked with Nike and Adidas and Red Bull and some of these bigger names. And I had the great opportunity to work with Dennis Yu. He's my mentor and boss, and we've been able to go to Facebook a few times and meet with some of their engineers. So we've had a really good opportunity just to kind of have an in on what's going on behind the scenes, and they let us know about features before they release and some of these different things. So it's given us a great advantage.
Love it. I love it. So as we were talking about this idea offline, Logan, you mentioned that the first thing that you wanted listeners to understand is that you can actually do B2B on Facebook. I know I've heard a lot of people claiming that you can or that it's not doable, but let's just start with this idea that you actually can do B2B on Facebook. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we hear the same thing. We go to conferences and we'll speak. Dennis and I, we did 5 continents in May, so we speak a lot, and we hear a lot of the same feedback, and a lot of it is, well, inevitably at every conference, we get 1 or 2 people who come up and they say, you know what, everything you said was great, and I agree with it, but I'm in the B2B space, and do you really think B2B will work on Facebook? People are just naturally kind of skeptical about it, and we absolutely do. And the secret to it is starting with the right targeting. So Facebook is so powerful as a platform because they have so many options with who you can target. They have so much data that they hold about people. And the thing that very few people are doing or even know about is workplace targeting.
Okay.
So on Facebook, in their business manager, you create your audiences, and you can create a saved audience of workplace targets. So the first part is where people work.
Okay.
So you choose any company. So, for example, I'm working right now doing some consulting with a cleaning company in Australia. They're doing B2B, trying to sell cleaning products for hotels.
Okay.
So we're going to target all the people that work at the hotels that they want to get into. But beyond that, it's not enough to just target the company, because let's say I'm selling, napkins, and I want McDonald's.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of different employees that work at McDonald's. There's cashiers, there's the people making the hamburgers, there's the people cleaning the restrooms and the lobby, and all those people don't have any of the power to, get my napkins. I would be wasting my budget if I send these people my ad.
Yeah.
So you need to layer it. First, choose the companies you want to get into. So that's where they work, that location. And then B is layer it with what their job title is, which Facebook also allows you to do.
Okay.
And you can do this on Facebook. You can say, Facebook, send my ad to people who work here and have the job title of CEO, CMO, writer, producer, whatever it is, whatever the person that you need that needs to hear your message, you can list those by their job title on Facebook. So that's the big thing.
Got it. That makes sense. Are you able to do things like if they have like VP in their title, or if they have communications in their title, or is it specific job titles that you're putting in there? What's kind of the nuance there, Logan?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. So Facebook is very predictive. If you start doing something more than once, when you're creating these, if you do like VP strategy, Facebook's going to catch on. They're going to say, you know what? This guy wants to target all sorts of anything that's a VP. So they're going to list all the options they have for you. And they'll do like 10 VP options for you that they just have that people have listed. So the titles, of course, match back to whatever people have listed on their Facebook accounts.
Got it.
But yeah, Facebook will try and help you too. So there's all sorts of strange titles out there.
So beyond targeting, the next thing that you and I talked about offline was around sequencing your content. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the power of Facebook is about stringing content together. So Procter & Gamble, a while ago, they came out and made the proclamation that they've tried digital marketing and it just doesn't work for them as well as traditional. And if you approach it with the same mindset where you just have one creative or you blast your creative out there, it's not going to work for you. But if you string your content together, then it can be really effective. So the way you do that is you create custom audiences. So first you send it to your workplace audiences. And let's say it's a video or a Canvas ad or it sends them to a website. You might get a certain amount of reach. Maybe it's workplace targets, so it's not a huge audience. Maybe your reach is 10,000 people.
Okay.
And of those 10,000, maybe let's just say, 2,000 engage, 1 in every 5, 20%. Watch your video, go to your site, whatever it is. Just be generous. Well, those are the people you want to talk to more. You don't want to just keep sending them the same message, right?
Yeah.
Because with conversion ads, we'll see a lot of people do this, where they keep sending people the same message and expect them to react differently. Mm-hmm. So you can't just keep saying, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, and expect that they'll keep seeing the same ad, but somehow the second time around or the third time around, they'll be different.
Okay.
You want to send them the next message in a sequence. So you string the messages together. So you say, anyone that saw content A, show that person content B, and then content C, and then content D, where I try and sell them.
Got it.
And the easiest way to do it is video, because video, you'll get the cheapest CPMs. It's the easiest way to retarget. So you make a few 1-minute videos, and we like to advocate starting with your why as opposed to your what.
Okay.
So your what would be your product. So rather than your first touch with them, your first content being about your product, have it be about your why, which is your story. So going back to the Australia cleaning guys we're working with, maybe they have some story about why they are so passionate about cleaning, and your why. So you make a video about that. 1-minute video leads into your how, which is how is educational.
Okay.
And educational is just providing tips around your niche, your vertical. Well, here's how to get rid of stains on the mirror. Here's how to get rid of lipstick on glasses before they go in the dishwasher, whatever.
Got it.
And then from those how videos, then you finally sequence them into your what, which is your actual, I offer this service, and we love to get into the hotels you offer, or that you're working at, and, here's what we do, etc. So by that time, you've kind of established a relationship with the consumer, and they'll be more willing to buy from your product rather than just – because people don't like ads, right, James?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Nobody wants to feel they're being sold to. I don't care if they're a consumer on the bottom end or if they're a B2B, a high-up executive. Yeah. It's just the nature of people. They don't like things that look or feel like advertisements. So the way to overcome that and the way to use Facebook as intended is to string your content together. And you do that by creating custom audiences. So you start with the workplace audience, then take all the people that engage with whatever content you show them and use custom audiences on Facebook to then sequence a few more messages before you try and sell them on your product.
Got it. And so of those 10,000 people in your earlier example, you said, let's say 2,000 of those people engage. So for the 8,000 people that don't engage, do we just kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater? Like we don't touch them again because they never engaged with in the first place and we don't want to waste our ad spend? Or do you do something else with those? You kind of come up with a different top of funnel campaign to try to engage them in a different way, tell your story in a different way, or give a different spin on your story? What's your suggestion for those other 8,000 people?
Yeah, good question. So for the other 8,000, you should definitely try and engage them in some other way, because the way people respond on Facebook is that there's so much going on in their feed. It's not like Google. Google and Facebook are fundamentally different, because Google, people are searching for something. They have intent to buy. They're searching for, I need shampoo providers. I need whatever it is. On Facebook, they're just on there scrolling through their feed. And while they're on there, they expect to see some content from their friends and maybe some viral content or some just interesting things kind of floating around the web. Mm-hmm. So images have the stopping power. So the likelihood isn't that they sat there and digested your ad and were like, this isn't for me. The likelihood is they probably just didn't even see it. They probably just scrolled right past it. So if you set up in the back end, though, you want to look at your relevancy score for a first touch. And if it's below 6, Facebook, just like Google gives you a quality score on AdWords, Facebook gives you a relevancy score to 10. And it's like the check engine light in a car. If it's below 6, they're telling you check engine, like something's wrong with your ad. It's people don't like it. It's got negative feedback, all these different things. So So look at that first, and if that's below 6, something needs to be changed. If it's above 6, the ad's doing okay. I'll just keep, maybe make one subtle change or something, but give it a little more time, maybe reach those other 8,000 people in a different place or a different time.
Got it. Okay. And then as far as timing goes, does Facebook kind of figure that out for you automatically as far as the timing of that sequence, or is that something that you as the brand need to adjust and say, okay, after our why video, we need to wait 2 days before we drip out our how video, or how does that work, Logan?
So there's 2 parts. One is the way you set up the audience. So when you set up a custom audience, let's say it's a video, you choose the look back window. So you'll say anyone that's watched this first video within the past X amount of days. So okay. I could say 7 days or 1 day or 28 days. So I could do a really short one. Say anyone that watched this video yesterday, show them this ad today.
Got it.
And the other part is when Facebook shows it, which again, you could part the schedule. You could say only show it on like Monday through Friday, working hours. But generally Facebook's, I don't find much of a need to get that specific because Facebook's OCPM, which is optimized cost per thousand, their algorithm is pretty good at reaching people when they'll be receptive to the message. They have all this data about people, and over time they'll just make the ad work itself. They'll tune it for you basically.
Wonderful, Logan. Well, this has been awesome. I want to close by asking you something. You referenced earlier in the interview that you and Dennis have got to spend some time at Facebook, and you had mentioned before we started recording, you've learned some things around kind of how to play by Facebook's rules. Can you talk to us about that before I let you go today?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the huge things is that Facebook is increasingly having more traffic to their platform. So because of that, it's more competitive. And if you want to get at the top of the news feed, which of course everyone wants to do, the best way to do so is to operate according to the way Facebook wants you to.
Yep.
If you put out content that's spammy or looks like ads, then it's just not going to end well because you're going to get negative feedback on your posts. And negative feedback is when people click hide this post or hide all or report as spam. And on the flip side, there's positive feedback. People can like your post, they can comment on it, they can share it. And one of the astounding things to us that I'll end with is the engineer at Facebook told us that the algorithm now counts negative feedback to positive feedback as 100 to 1.
Wow.
Meaning one piece of negative feedback, to counteract that, it takes 100 pieces of positive feedback.
Holy cow.
So as you're creating this content, you can look and see what your negative and positive feedback is from the page level. So you can click on your post. Down at the very bottom of it, in the bottom right, it'll say negative feedback. There's 4 types. It'll tell you what it is. If you're finding that any type of post gets a lot of negative feedback, just make sure you think, okay, whatever it is about this, I had too much links, I was too salesy, the video was too long, whatever it is, don't make more content like that because it will not work on paid because you're going to get really high CPMs and just get nailed and it'll roll back to the account. So that's one of the things is, just making user-friendly content and watching out for negative feedback.
Got it. That is fantastic to know, Logan. If there's somebody listening to this and they want to stay connected with what you're doing as well as what BlitzMetrics has going on, how can folks go about staying connected in both of those ways?
Yeah, so the easiest way is just to follow us on Facebook, BlitzMetrics. You can find searching them. I have my own page. It's Logan Young CW. I post updates there quite a bit.
Wonderful.
And then also I'm on LinkedIn as well. We'll post on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, of course, is just release video on some cool different things. But those would be probably the 2 easiest ways to connect. Make sure you follow my page, not my profile. So a profile is where you have friends. A page is where you have followers, and that's where I'll post stuff about advertising and stuff is on my page. So
love it. Wonderful, Logan. Well, thank you so much for your time today, man. This has been incredible. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, James.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you'd like to connect with B2B executives from all over the world, make sure to join our private Facebook community. There are some incredible conversations happening inside this group. To join, visit b2bgrowthshow.com/FB.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.